This is the Tesla Cybertruck, which is currently not available in Europe, but it's here with me today at Bluewater Shopping Centre in Kent, and we've got an exclusive UK look and tour thanks to Tesla UK, so thank you so much for having me. You might notice behind me as well, we've got a Model Y, which is a very interesting size comparison because this is huge in comparison. This has rear wheel steer, it will tow up to nearly 4 tonnes, and it's just a really impressive vehicle. We've also got the quad here, and we've also got the small version in the back, so join me. We'll head round just so that you can see the sheer size of this thing. You've got that massive rear wheel steering back here, this really sharp angle down the back, and the tonneau cover that covers the back. And I can get this opened up for you as well, just so that you can have a little look to see how that operates. And we'll take you on a full tour as we go around. You can see we've got the baby version in the back there as well. But yeah, look, I'm having to take a full trip round here to actually show you the sheer size of the thing. And this stainless steel finish as well, absolutely incredible in person and supposedly really easy to fix. So let's have a little look then, shall we? Let's take a full tour of the vehicle. I want to show you all of its quirks and features because this is something that we don't see too often here. And as you can see, I'm also joined by my friend Optimus. So let's have a little look around the Cybertruck. So you've got the stainless steel exoskeleton made of ultra hard, cold rolled stainless steel, which helps protect against dents and dings. And the custom stainless steel material also protects against long-term corrosion. It's also resistant to 45 caliber and 9mm bullets, as well as a 12 gauge shotgun, which is quite impressive when you think about it. Also, the steel gives it a nice smooth monochrome finish, which is obviously a very cyberpunk futuristic aesthetic, as you can see here. It really quite looks good indoors even in this light, which is really good. And you've got Tesla armoured glass on here as well. So it's custom for the Cybertruck. The polymer layer composite can absorb and redirect impact force for superior performance. This was something that Elon famously demonstrated at one of the launch events. It also has heat UV rejection to keep passengers cool, which is kind of similar to their passenger cars here in the UK. And the cargo bed is absolutely massive with a lockable storage tonneau. So around 1700 litres of storage capacity, which is absolutely massive. Also, it's electrified. You can store things in there. You've got also the external controls for that as well, which is always a good start. So you've also got some LED light bars front and rear as well, adaptive air suspension and rear steer at the back. When set to automatic, Cybertruck adjusts to a wide range of terrain types and driving styles, and automatically levels based on payload at the rear as well. And this thing will also tow up to around 4 tonnes, which is really, really impressive. In terms of actual specs, you've got the standard Cybertruck, which is a dual motor. So that's up to 345 miles of range, 4.1 seconds to 60, which is still really rapid for a vehicle of this size. 250 kilowatt fast charging. Of course, you've got that Tesla supercharger network, and 16 inches of ground clearance in the extract mode, which is the kind of most off-road mode. You can see we've got some really chunky tyres on here as well, which kind of go to show its off-roading capacity. And there is also the option of Tesla Cyber Beast. Now, Cyber Beast will do 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds, which is incredible for something of this size and weight. Top speed of only about 130, but you don't really need to go any faster than that. Still, same towing capacity, which is really impressive. And of course, 8 years and 150,000 mile warranty even on these in the States as well. What is also interesting is the battery pack on this is actually structural, so you won't be able to see it from the exterior, but it is part of the chassis of the vehicle, which is helpful for kind of crash protection, but also supposedly helps with the dynamics of the car as well, or the truck. So there's also Tesla Home Backup Kit, which is an optional accessory, which allows you to power your home in backup mode. So if you've got a power outage at home, it will actually supply energy to your home for a few days with 11.5 kilowatts of continuous power, which is super, super impressive. Let's take a little closer look then at the actual body of this vehicle. And the front end here is why it's not actually available in Europe currently, because this doesn't meet regulation in terms of passenger and external safety. So in terms of like pedestrian safety, when someone hits the vehicle, this isn't quite flexible enough for EU regulations. That's something they would have to change if they wanted to bring it to Europe. And also, even though it does have a little side repeater there, you would need one a bit further down the vehicle if you wanted to bring it over to Europe or to the UK. So it kind of gives a bit of an explanation, obviously, apart from the sheer size of the thing as well. But yeah, the stainless steel finish I think is really impressive actually. It's something I wasn't too sure about, but it definitely has that kind of cyberpunk aesthetic. Reminds me of you know, the Back to the Future stuff and all that kind of thing. And it was inspired by a lot of films such as A Spy Who Loved Me as well. and you can see massive chunky off-road tyres on here. Obviously loads of really crisp lines, and it's almost like a wedge shape, but it gives you great visibility out the front despite the amount of space here. And you can see also probably the largest wiper I've ever seen on any vehicle, which is pretty nuts. It's just one wiper that goes across the whole windscreen, which is super interesting. And yeah, triangle mirrors as well, which is super cool. And you can see we've got this kind of skirt that runs along the edge, still the same angles. All of the buttons to enter the car are on the side as well, so you have a button for each door. Everything opens electrically, kind of similar to other Tesla models, but it's just a little bit more slick in operation here, and I can assure you these are super heavy doors as well. As we head around the back, like I mentioned, you do have a completely openable area at the top here, which is operated by these roller buttons, so you can open and close this at will, which is really nice. And then we've also got a button to electrically lower the tailgate here as well. So tailgate capacity is impressive. And also, as you can see, we have a baby Cybertruck on here, which is really cool. Apparently also super fast. You've got LED lighting that runs all the way down here, and this is a water resistant area as well. You've also got quite a significant vehicle to load behind this cover here, which is really good if you want to power tools and different bits. And you've got various hook points and kind of practicalities back here as well. You've actually got a glass portion there so you can see out of the back and still have visibility, which is really nice. So it's not a completely closed off truck experience. But yeah, super impressive. And just look at the sheer size of this thing. Like it probably doesn't come across on video, but to be able to fit a toy version in the back is pretty nuts. And again, going down the side, this huge wedge shape that actually continues on to the glass roof. Of course, you've got that UV protected glass, as you do in all Tesla models. If I show you kind of up the top there, you can see it's just one big UV protected glass. And then I'll give you a quick peek of the cabin before we head inside. Very heavy doors. This has a quite significant and chunky feel to it. And as we head down the side, you can also see this is one of the Foundation series cars. So this is kind of like an early production model there. And you've got the cameras built into the sides there. And it's all very rugged, very utilitarian look to it. But yeah, really impressive. Already, even though this shopping centre is completely quiet at the moment, everyone who's walked past has had a good look at it. And of course we are also joined here by Optimus, the humanoid robot, and the quad as well, which actually has a very similar aesthetic. It's all quite cohesive. So yeah, let's dive into the interior then, and I'll show you around. So let's head inside then. Big chunky button on the side to open the stainless steel door, which is really nice. And it's very similar to your Tesla experience elsewhere. You've got a two-tone interior in this one, and kind of your black leather seats, which is really nice, and the white contrast leather on the doors, as well as the ambient lighting that runs across as well. Your standard Tesla electronic opening for the door, and also your standard switches with a manual release just in case the electronic one isn't working. And of course, lots of storage areas in this. There's lots of practicalities, and we'll head inside and take a closer look. But you can see in this one, we've also got a slightly floating center console as well. And we've got the more yoke style steering wheel on this as well, kind of very similar to some of the performance models in the US. So looking around the interior then, it is a bit dark in here, so apologies, but you've got an 18.5 inch 1440p touchscreen. So this is a wider screen than in any of the other Tesla models. And of course, you've got plenty of gadgets and features on there, including your full Tesla theater mode, which is to be expected. You've also got your ride height entry there as well, and the toy box mode, which has all of your standard bits and bobs that you've come to expect on Tesla models, including all of your external light shows, which also roll back the cover on the back. You've got your romance modes, you've got your radio, all sorts of bits and bobs on here, and of course full screen apps as well, such as Spotify, Apple Music, Netflix, all that good stuff. I always think that Tesla is one of the best in the game when it comes to infotainment systems, and this screen is no exception. This is definitely the most impressive screen that they use on their products, and of course it's got the most modern version of the OS. Also a custom font on this as well for Cybertruck, which is interesting. It's slightly different to the rest, and you can see you've got these kind of like rocky graphics, which is really cool. You've got all of your controls on here, and you can move the gear select forward and back, very similar to the new Model Ys. And then obviously you've got all of your different options for the vehicle, but it's a really good system. It's just got some extra bits around towing and hauling, and you've also got kind of controls for your ride height and things like that. Most of that is going to be locked out for purposes of this demo car here. But what you will notice is that there's some quite interesting quirks. So these sun visors, for example, are kind of floating on the glass here, which is really nice. It's actually got a real heft to it as well. You've got a touch sensitive hazards button at the top there, which is built into this kind of strip, which has your radar in it. And then a super small kind of mirror, which does the trick, but it's definitely not got a huge amount of visibility. But you can see that from the lights behind there, that's the Model Y that's parked behind the car, so you can see that actually the visibility at the back is still there. Of course, you've got loads of cameras in this as well as your turn signal cameras. So if I was to press the turn signal, you can see it comes up on the dash with the blind spot monitors, which is a really nice touch. And this, yeah, quite odd yoke steering wheel. What is interesting as well is you also get the claw in the UK. So if you have a UK based car that is left-hand drive, Tesla actually supply them with this grabber so that you can actually grab receipts and stuff from outside the vehicle, which is pretty funny. Large central storage area, cup holders, and also of course a place for your phones to charge. But yeah, absolutely cabinets in here and super comfy seats, as well as a impressive 15 speaker sound system with 2 subwoofers and built-in amplifiers as well. And your ambient lighting in rainbow mode currently also extends through the cabin, which is really nice. So let's have a little look in the back as well. We open the back here. So looking in the back, we've got a really cavernous area. Again, probably some of the largest door pockets I've seen in the rear of a car, to be honest. And then just big chunky switches. Everything's got quite a heft to it in this. It feels a lot heavier than other Tesla models. Feels really well screwed together. Definitely not got any of those quality concerns that you had from early Tesla cars. And what I do quite like as well is the kind of the massive incline on the rear seats. Quite often rear seats in vehicles don't have that steep incline, so there's not much fire support, but this is very different. And as you can see, there's actually lots of space underneath the seat as well. Which is really nice. Obviously a completely flat floor due to the battery pack, and the screen back here is also a lot bigger than those in other Teslas, which is nice. So you've got controls for like your fans, all that kind of thing, and of course all of your theatre mode and all that kind of stuff for your rear passengers, which is a nice touch as well. So let me jump in, I'll show you kind of what the size of this actually feels like. So heading into the back of the Cybertruck there. Now this seat in front of me is really reclined into a almost laying down position, and I've still got tons and tons of legroom back here at 6 foot. And like I said, this thigh support is one of the best I've experienced, just because of how steep the car is. This leather feels a bit different to that in other Teslas as well. It's a little bit kind of more durable feeling, so it might stand the test of time, but you could get super comfy back here. It is quite a cozy cabin, surprisingly, because of the size of the cargo area, but that doesn't take away from it at all. There's still plenty of space to stretch out, and this massive roof obviously makes a difference, being fully glass all the way. There's also some speakers in this rear shelf here as well. Nice Alcantara sort of suede material on the back, which is always a good touch. And obviously you've got that UV protection on the top there as well. So it's nice and dark and glass, to be fair, which makes it obviously a lot nicer in a really sunny environment, not to get torched. But yeah, super impressive for space, even though obviously most of it is taken up by that cargo area. So let me show you this cargo area then. I'll actually roll this cover back. You've got the controls on here, and it is literally just a press and hold, and it's almost like a security shutter on a door, and it will roll right back and expose that rear window. As you can see, we've got the mini one in here as well, and there's a button also to electrically lower this tail. This is where you'll get all your power. Obviously we don't have UK plugs in there, but you'll be able to power stuff for a very long time with the internal battery pack, as well as obviously if you've got the battery pack available for the house share as well, so that's good. But yeah, super durable. It's a nice material, everything feels super solid, and this is a manual close for the tail, but big heavy feel to it. Just feels super durable. So there we have it, the Cybertruck here in the UK. I'm not sure what this would actually look like if they were to make those legislation changes, but I think if they were to bring it here, they probably want to keep it as true to the original as possible. So I really appreciate Tesla for inviting me down here to take a closer look at this car today. And obviously if you do have any questions, please do leave them in the comments below as well. But I've been actually really impressed with it in terms of build quality, especially compared to some of the earlier Tesla products. It definitely stacks up, and the interior, just the extra the screen size and the extra clarity. I'm not too sure about the yoke steering wheel myself, that's not my thing, but it is still a nice interior, definitely a lot more solid than I expected it to be, but that really matches the exterior aesthetic of the vehicle as well, and obviously the rugged nature of it, and the fact that this can really do off-roading, and the turning circle is going to be absolutely fine, even though it's absolutely monstrous and long. The turning circle, because of that rear wheel steer, is actually super impressive. If you look at some of the videos of these on the road, I'm sure you've probably seen quite a lot of US footage of these, but it's just cool to see one here in the flesh. So thank you guys for joining me on this tour of the Cybertruck. It's super cool to see one of these here in the UK, and thank you to Tesla for joining me. So if you want to experience this for yourself, head to the Tesla website, where there will be invite links that you can see exactly where and when this is coming to a shopping centre or a town near you. See you in the next one.